Okay, so a little technical difficulties on that last one. Rob tried to destroy my iPhone. No, it's the fuel of champions. So see, the thing is with doing great video blogs like the ones you see produced by yours truly, is that the less preparation you do, the better, I think. And staying true to that, I haven't actually really even thought out this one at all. So see if you can pick up on that. So, a guy just put out another article. We were talking a couple days ago about how people put out articles that are basically 17 different ways to do an exercise, but they don't actually get into why. And I don't really see the benefit in that. But Rob put it up today just as kind of an example of what I was talking about. See, the thing is that to just criticize that and give someone a hard time for going out of their way to write an article, which is hard to do, and put up a bunch of cool little video links inside the article, which is even harder to do. Well, all that that thing's probably gonna start beeping like crazy. It's like the guy put a lot of work into that, so we shouldn't crap all over it. What we should instead do is go, I think there's something that could be done that's better, so let's get on with actually doing that. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you about a couple exercises that you could do that will actually benefit you, and when and why you should do them. So, and if you're a trainer and you're out there and you're listening, I think I'll start with the deadlift because I love deadlifts and I'm good at them. That's why I like them. It's the same reason why people that suck at squats, bench, and deadlift tend to do a lot of crazy other exercises. Okay, maybe that's not why. But anyways, so what I'm saying is when you do a deadlift, if you're having a hard time learning how to sit down into what I call the triangle, and you're having an extremely hard time understanding what good posture is, the best exercise you can use to teach yourself great posture is called a Superman. Okay? You can't mess a Superman up. So a Superman is literally when you lie down on the floor. We'll put up some video links to the showing the actual exercises. Superman's when you lie on the floor and you basically lift your upper body off the ground.
Feet down.
Keep your feet down. Don't do it like yoga, because then you'll end up using your legs instead of your back to create the posture. And literally, in order to do that, you have to arch your back, and you have to get into good posture. Simple as that. So, if you're trying to teach someone how to do a deadlift, for starters, when you're trying to teach someone how to do a deadlift, use half or even a quarter of the full range of motion first. If they still can't figure out how to get into proper posture, tell them to pull their shoulder blades together. That will help. If they still can't figure out how to get into proper posture, put them down into a Superman. Okay? After the Supermans, have them roll over and do a glute bridge. This is a good time to do a glute bridge, because a glute bridge is an exercise that teaches you how to use your hamstrings and your glutes if you are glute retarded. So if you can't figure out how to use your glutes in a deadlift, that's a training wheel exercise. That's a regression. That's why I get a kick out of these guys that are doing glute bridges with 500 pounds, but they can't deadlift or squat. It's because a squat or a deadlift is a more complicated movement. Okay? So it's more athletic, even though, of course, being strong isn't athletic. So there's one example of when and why you would use a new, different exercise. And that's just understanding the concept of progression and regression. So regression is when you get worse. Progression is when you get better. Make sense so far? Okay. Is that enough? Or should I give one more? Do you want me to do one more?
One more.
Okay. So here's one. Okay. A lot of times if you're doing a squat and you see, or a deadlift, and you see that the hips are shifting, usually they're shifting, up or down and left or right a bit. This can be because one leg is stronger than the other. Side note, if anyone ever tries to sell you a piece of wood about this big to put into one shoe and wants about $300 or $400 for it because one leg's longer than the other, we're human beings. Everybody has one leg that's probably 1 or 2 millimeters longer than the other. And this is like the oldest trick in the book, and it's baloney. So stop giving people hundreds of dollars for a chunk of wood. Like, that's ridiculous. Just go to a lumber yard if you're buying into it and have them, saw something down for you for like $2. Anyway, okay, so if one leg is stronger than the other, or it's producing more force, one of the ways that we can confirm this is we go and we do a one-legged squat. So if you're having a real hard time getting someone to come up evenly in a squat, or when they do a deadlift, we see the bar actually literally travel as they're doing the reps, so they start to actually like set it down in a different way, then you can do a couple things. You can do a crane, which is a contralateral one-legged deadlift, okay? And this is going to check and see how well the back of the leg is functioning, okay? Or you can do a one-legged squat. So you sit back on a box, have them stick one leg straight out and stand up. And again, we'll put the links for all these exercises on there. What you can do is just test, do a rep test, and see if one leg has more strength endurance than the other. Okay? Now, I'm not getting down into the nitty-gritty of, like, obviously when you do a squat, it's a different movement pattern than when you're doing a one-legged squat. Okay, so a lot of people are going to come back and they're going to say, well, that's actually not going to be consistent because they might do very well in a one-legged squat, but it won't transfer over to a squat and yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's kind of true when you have a high-level athlete that's mastered all these patterns, but when you have someone that's just figuring all this stuff out, you're really looking at the ability of their muscles to contract. Okay, and I've just found with experience that, long story short, if you see someone doing a squat and they tend to shift to one side or the other, let's get their legs to be strong independently first, and then let's reintegrate that into the proper pattern, and then you'll see a much better squat. So there you go. There's 6 or 7 exercises and why and when you would use them, not just, I don't know, let's add a band onto this so we can come up with a cool new article. Okay, a little bit of a couple tips from In the Trenches. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to go work out. See ya.